Hello, it's me, Linwood, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys all about some springtime hair growth tips to help your hair grow better in the spring because you've been doing some stuff in the winter. The boo-boo has not been that great. Before we get started, if you haven't seen my other hair growth videos that I've done as of late, please be sure to check those out. Some of the tips will be in that, so I'm not going to reiterate some of those. I want to touch on mainly the ones that you're going to need for this change during spring. That being said, so we want to touch on a couple of different aspects of things. So like for instance, in the wintertime, a lot of times the skin, the hair, all that has a chance to dry out. So you're using a lot of butters, a lot of sealants, a lot of things like that. So the first thing we really need to do, welcome to my dirty garage by the way, the first thing that we really need to do is clarify that hair. Now you can clarify using a clarifying shampoo. You could use an apple cider vinegar rinse. I personally prefer Shampoo 3 by Paul Mitchell because it's amazing. It removes all of the buildup with minimal effort, but that's up to your choice. I'll put links in the description box below to some different clarifying treatments. Now you may be wondering why you should need to clarify the hair, and part of the reason why is because if you've been using sealants, butters, grease, things like that throughout the winter to keep your moisture from escaping, keep in mind that barrier on the hair is also preventing you from getting new moisture in. Sometimes we have to go in and periodically time, go ahead and remove that buildup from the hair so we can get new moisture in the hair. Especially if you've been blow drying, flat ironing, things like that, it's still possible for you to lose that moisture naturally. And at some point, we've got to get buildup off because buildup can cause issues like breakage and things like that. So while sealants and butters can be great, they can also be detrimental if you're not using them correctly and if you're not correctly removing them from the hair. Side note, if I'm in the car recording, the car is presently in park, so don't come for me. Anywho, so after you have done your clarifying treatment, your hair is going to feel pretty dry because you just stripped everything off of it. That being said, you'll need to go in with some moisture, possibly some protein, especially if you have been flat ironing, things like that during the winter time, because you have been taking out moisture, you've been messing with your protein balance and messing with your disulfide bonds, all of that in the hair. You've got to restore that hair and put some of those things back in there. I'll put some links to some different products that you can use down below for both moisture and protein on that mask, because I'm just not going to list a billion of them on this video. Ain't nobody got time for that. So after you have done all that, you need to deep condition with that. So this is not just shampooing and conditioning with moisture and protein. This is you deep conditioning. You're putting everything back that the devil stole from you during winter time. From there, if you have not trimmed since our winter hair growth video, it's time for you to dust those ends, boo-boo. You don't have to go crazy, but you do need to take off those split ends. I guarantee you by now the ends are nodding. You're getting those little balls on the ends of the hair, things like that. So you got to implement that into your routine. If you didn't have that routine from the winter video because you weren't a subscriber, then welcome to the family. It's probably still time for you to trim. I still love you. So in the spring, you typically deal with a lot of moisture and rain and things like that. So if you notice that your hair is responding quite a bit to the humidity in the air, like it is getting really frizzy, things like that, there's a good chance that your hair is thirsty and it could use more moisture. So if you're noticing that throughout the springtime, this lighting here is janky. Oh, that's better. So if you're noticing that throughout the springtime, then you'll want to make sure that what you are doing is going back and moisturizing or adding in more moisture through deep conditioning, using moisturizing leave-in conditioners, moisturizing creams, things like that to help instill that moisture balance. If your hair is acting like it's thirsty, it's because she is.
I need a boyfriend.
Here. You sounded thirsty.
But wait, I have good news for you. The good news is this. Since the temperature is increasing and the humidity is increasing, that means that you can re-implement glycerin into your hair routine. It's such an amazing humectant that helps to draw moisture from the air into the hair, but there's got to be moisture in the air to draw into hair, or it's drawing out of hair and into the air. So now that you're seeing moisture increase in the springtime, that's a great time to start implementing humectants back into your hair routine. A humectant would include something like aloe vera, glycerin, there's several other ones, but those are the most common ones that you'll typically see in the hair industry. My eye is burning. By the way, I just finished voting, so make sure that you go and exercise your right to vote in the state of Texas. We can vote early, praise the Lord, because yeah, I'm not trying to be sitting in long lines and fighting people and having to stab somebody in line trying to cast my vote. Anyway, make sure you use your right to vote. Praise the Lord. That's going to be my one political thing. And I'm going to get whatever's burning out of my eye, and then we'll close out the you know what I'm saying? I can't think straight. My eye. All right, so now that I'm dead about the eyes, I wanted to make sure to clarify just one thing, and that is the aspect of clarifying your hair. You can do this at any time. And honestly, if you're using a lot of sealants, butters, or sulfate-free shampoo, you probably want to do a clarifying treatment about every month to month and a half. But anytime that you clarify, you always need to follow up with a moisturizing moisturizing deep conditioner, possibly even protein, especially if you are in any way chemically treated. That means bleach, hair color, relaxer, perm, curl reforming, anything like that. And of course, you're always going to need moisture because the clarifying treatment usually removes moisture off of the hair with that barrier or blockade that's there. So anytime that you feel like that product that you're usually using isn't responding the same, or you're starting to notice, okay, my hair is breaking despite me moisturizing constantly, there's a good chance that there's a barrier preventing the entry of that moisture in your hair. That's when you want to go in there and you want to clarify the hair, and then from there you can go ahead and begin to put back the things that the hair is missing. That's the biggest portion here. So if you'll notice, a lot of these tips are not massively different from my other hair care tip videos, but there's some things that are catered more to the fact that we're moving out of winter and into spring. So some things you can put back into your regimen that you needed to take out in the winter time. And I want to make sure that you guys are following right along with what you should be doing. And of course, making sure that you're trimming on a regular basis. Usually if you're not putting a whole bunch of abusive processes on the hair, you can get away with trimming about every quarter or so. If you are one where you're blow drying, flat ironing, all of that, you probably need to do it a little bit more frequently. Or if you have really fine hair, you probably need to do it a little more frequently also. Or if you're chemically treated. But if you're natural, or if you're taking care of your hair, sleeping on satin, none of that has changed. Still sleep on satin. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing that. If you want to know my standard hair care tips for hair growth, I'll link that video in the description box below, maybe in the eye in the corner, it depends on if I remember it. But yeah, until next time, you guys, take care. God bless. Stay glam. Thanks for tagging along with me throughout the day on this unscripted video. You know I love you, boo. Bye. Child, y'all see how pasty I am? Like, I know this is talking about how winter is leaving and spring is coming, but can the sun come back? Nobody moved to Texas for this. Look how pasty I am.